When money grows on trees. Do you wish that chocolate grew on trees? Well, it does. The trees are cocoa trees that grow in tropical countries and are located both north and south of the equator. Of course, you wouldn't recognize the little pale colored and bitter tasting beans of the cocoa tree as chocolate. But those beans are the raw material and the main ingredient from which delicious chocolate bars are made. Ooh, so we're going to learn all about where chocolate comes from and how it is made. Cocoa trees were originally cultivated in Central and South America. They are now grown in many other parts of the world, including West Africa, the Caribbean, and Southern Asia. They thrive in areas with a year round temperature of around 80 degrees and an annual rainfall of 80 inches or more. However, the young trees need protection from direct sunlight. Banana plants, which are considerably taller, are often interspread between the rows of cocoa trees to provide the shade these trees need. So these cocoa trees, they need a lot of water to be able to grow. They need really hot weather, but they don't do well with a lot of sun. So usually people will plant these banana plants, which are a lot taller than the cocoa trees, to help give them shade so they can grow well. Pods as big as footballs grow from the branches and trunks of the cocoa trees. Inside each pod is a cluster of 20 to 40 cocoa beans. Each bean is located inside its own thin shell. Workers cut the pods from the trees manually and split them open to remove the beans. The beans are then separated and stored in boxes for about a week. When the beans are brown and have developed slight chocolate aroma, they are ready for the next phase to be dried. After the drying is complete, the beans are put in sacks. These are then exported to other countries through a worldwide distribution network. So our chocolate starts off in these cocoa pods, right? They're these really big pods. When you open them, there's clusters, right? Maybe 20 to 40 cocoa beans in each cluster. And each bean is in a little thin shell. So the whole pods are cut and taken, and then they split them open, remove the beans, and they let the boxes sit for about a week. When they start to smell a little bit like chocolate, then they dry them out and send them to different places all over the world. Now they are ready to be manufactured into chocolate. First, the beans are roasted. This makes the shells brittle and easy to separate from the beans. Next, the beans are ground into a paste that contains a lot of fat. The fat is called cocoa butter. The cocoa butter is extracted from the beans. What remains is cocoa powder, which is utilized in the making of chocolate cakes, cookies, and puddings. Combining the cocoa powder with cocoa butter, sugar, and dried milk makes the soft, sweet chocolate and candy. So to make this chocolate right, first they roast the beans, then they make a paste, right? It's cocoa butter. Then the cocoa butter is extracted. They take it out from the beans, and that is what leaves us with cocoa powder. Then what they do is they mix, right? Cocoa powder, cocoa butter, sugar, and dried milk. And that's how we get chocolate candy. The Spanish explorers who traveled through Central and South America in the 1500s were the first to introduce chocolate into Europe. The Aztecs, who lived in what is now Mexico, ground up cocoa beans and made the paste into a cold beverage. They must have considered it bland. They mixed it with chili peppers and other fiery spices to give it more flavor. Not surprisingly, the name chocolate comes from an Aztec word meaning bitter drink. Montezuma, the Aztec king, appears to have had a craving for it. According to Aztec legends, he consumed up to 50 cups of chocolate a day. So the Aztecs, they used to make this drink out of the cocoa powder. And they would add chilies and make it really spicy. And even Montezuma, the Aztec king, would drink around 50 cups of this every single day. The Aztecs also utilized cocoa beans as money. A rabbit cost 10 beans, while an enslaved person could be purchased for 100. Sadly, that would have made the value of a human being equivalent to 10 rabbits. So you could buy a person or 10 rabbits for the same cost. This may seem surprising, but here is something else to think about. The Aztecs actually lived in a land where money grew on trees. Yeah, they used their cocoa beans as money, right? So money literally grew on their trees. Thank you for reading with me today. We do have links related to each article. If you want the link for this video, you can find it down in the description below.